All right, hey, what's going on, everybody? It's me, it's Stevie Stroh, and I'm joined for the first time on this particular series, but not for the first time on YouTube. But in the first time of my Programming in Basic series, I am joined by the man upstairs, Curtis Boyle. How are you, Curtis?
Not too bad. This is going to be going back to the old days for me programming in Disk Extended Color Basic.
Oh, yeah. Curtis is somewhat of a programmer, I guess we could say. He is a person who has programmed a thing or two in his time, and you program for a living, don't you, Curtis?
Kind of, yeah. I'm going to run my own company, and programming is part of that. And I also have to do accounting and a bunch of other crud I really don't like doing that much.
Right. Well, here's what we're doing in this video here. This is not another chapter. This is taking that game that I started in the last video, our first off-book impromptu game, and kind of tweaking it and actually turning it into two games, because a couple of things happened. I realized there was a flaw in my logic on when we should be randomizing things, because, and you have to forgive me, I never actually played the real game Russian Roulette, so I am sorry. I made
Well, if you did, you won quite well.
So, I was trying to follow some logic. I looked at the original game and I thought there was a flaw in the logic, but there really isn't, because in the real game of Russian Roulette, what you do is you kind of hand the gun around to a bunch of people and you all take turns, and each time you spin the barrel and then you put it and you pull the trigger and you hope you don't blow your head off. So that's kind of how the game goes. What I did in my crazy head was I had the computer generate the number one time and then give you a few tries to guess it. So really what I made without realizing it was basically a guess what I'm thinking game. So what I thought we would do first is let's just fix Russian Roulette. Let's change the name. Let's call it Guess What I'm Thinking. And then I'm just going to change the two branches where it goes to if you win or lose. I'm just going to reverse those, because what happens now, instead of if you guess it right, you don't die, I'm just going to have that go to the you win thing. And if you guess it wrong, instead of it saying you're dead, I'm just going to say, no, sorry, you didn't guess it. You're a loser, right? So that's kind of what we're going to do first. So I think that's the easy thing to do first, right? So let me switch over. And let me show you what I did, right? So basically, I did everything in Excel. And I'm just doing this for me. This helps my thought process. I don't expect anybody else to do this. I did this series, number one, mostly just for myself, because I'm retraining my brain and I'm relearning and remembering the process. But I also figured if somebody was going to do this, I picked a couple of programs that anybody could download and use, and you don't have to have any technical, very little minimal technical experience. Not that most people who don't do this would probably be technically oriented or technically interested people anyways, but I tried to make this program and this series as user-friendly as possible for whatever reason. So I've strayed a little bit by switching over to using Microsoft Excel. You don't have to do this. This is a way for me to visualize my thought process and then translate this back into what we're going to type in on our virtual color computer. And I also just changed the font now in Excel to look like the Cocoa. This is a font called Color Basic, so it just kind of looks cool too. So here's our program, and the program right now is only 41 lines, right? So it starts off by clearing the screen. It says Russian Roulette 1.0, licensed to Tandy Corporation. This was my whole Spectral Associates faux screen. It kind of looked like all the old Spectral games. It asks you for your name. It clears the screen. It says there is one bullet. There's 6 chambers. This first one here, it picks a random number to make a noise like it's spinning the chamber, spinning the barrel, right? And then so depending on how many times you do that, up to 9 random times, it'll print a couple dots, make a couple sounds like it's spinning, and then it makes a single sound like I'm done, or that's the sound it makes while it's spinning, and then now it picks a random bullet, which it only picks once, and then it gives you 5 tries. Here's the flaw in my logic right here. Line 150 for picking a random bullet. This needs to be re-randomized inside this for next loop here. Not outside the loop, but inside the loop. So in order for this to be a proper Russian Roulette game, it needs to move here. But the easier win right now is to make this a Guess What I'm Thinking game. So we're going to do that right now. I'm going to save this as a different name. I'm doing this again in Excel, but I'm going to call this GWIT 1.0. Guess What I'm Thinking 1.0 is going to be the current name. So what I'm doing now, again, I'm kind of thinking out loud. I will actually type this back in when we get to the virtual color computer, but this is just me doing my thought process. So instead of it saying Russian Roulette, I'm going to make it say, guess what number I'm thinking. And then here it's going to say copyright. And instead of doing that, it's going to say copyright 2016 Steve Strobridge. That's my name. Don't wear it out. Licensed to Candy Corporation. What is your name? There is one bullet. So I'm going to change this one to say, I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10. Of a number, N-U-M-B-E-R, between 1 and 10. You have 3 guesses. How many guesses should we get on a low number like that? 3 guesses?
Sure.
You have 3 guesses to... You have 3 guesses. You have 3 tries to guess it. There we go. Fine. Clear the screen. Okay. This one here, instead of saying spinning barrel, how about we say...
I'm thinking of a number or something.
Okay. Thinking. And so we're going to print a dot, and instead of it saying sound 24.1, since it's now thinking, we're going to make a computer sound. So we're going to say sound R&D parentheses 255 comma 1. So you're going to hear that. Right, so it's going to sound like a computer thinking. So I am thinking. It's going to print up to 9 dots and make random sounds.
I have one question for you.
Yeah.
Is this going to be a completely random where you get no hints, or are you actually going to have the computer tell you, nope, it's higher, or nope, it's lower?
For this argument, good question, good thought, but this is just going to be completely random. So
Okay.
B equals random 10. Okay. First, okay. Now, instead of for T equals 1 to 5, it's going to be for try equals 1 to 3. Try number 3, instead of saying what chamber, what number, right? What number? Input A. And then this case here, instead of it saying less than 1 or whatever, it's going to synopsis is between 1 and 10, right? So if A is less than 1 or greater than 10, then go to 170. Now this one here, if A equals B, meaning I pick the number, then go to 250. 250 is bang, right? 250 is the one that says you're dead. So instead of doing that, if you guess the number right, we want it to go down to the one that says you win, which is 350. So this needs to be changed. If A equals B, go to 350. That's the one that's going to go to the U1 sound. And then this one here, instead, if you don't win, this one is going to go to, that then goes to 260.
Yeah.
So
you
we
have
need
to
to
change
modify.
210 first, the click you dodged the bullet.
Yeah.
Basically, it's saying you
Okay.
had the wrong guess.
Click,
or
you
what.
dodged a bullet. Right. So instead of saying click, you dodge a bullet. Nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. End string. Okay. All right. So the one that says bang now, and so instead of saying CLS 4, I want to change to CLS. What's yellow?
2.
CLS 2. Okay. So we'll change it to CLS 2 for a nice bright yellow. Instead of saying bang, we're going to make it say congrats. Hooray. How do you spell hooray? H-O-O-R-A-Y. Hooray.
Actually, you wouldn't do that at this point, though, because this is the fall through part of the code after you've guessed all the times, but you didn't get it right.
No, this is if you get it right. No, this is when you got it wrong. Oops, you got it wrong. Sorry. Okay. You blow it. So, okay, you're right. So, didn't guess my number. How about we say this? Didn't guess. And then at the end here, semicolon, we're going to actually put the number, which was B for bullet, right? So in this case here, we're going to print the answer. So we're going to tell you what it is at the end. You blew it. You didn't guess this. Okay. Now, you survived. You got it. So
You won or something like that,
Yeah.
I presume.
a name string guessed my number. Okay. So there's the changes. What the heck did I just do? I don't remember because I was thinking out loud while I did it. So let's review this once again. What do? We start off by clearing the screen with a random color. Then we print our little intro screen. Guess what number I'm thinking by Steve Strobridge. Obviously, you would put your name here. Licensed to Tandy Corporation, which is a complete farce. What is your name? Input N strings for name. And then clear the random screen again to a random color. And it's going to say, I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10. You have 3 tries to guess it. Then it will clear the screen. Oh, C. Then now C is what it's going to do to think. Print thinking. For T equals 1 to C, print ... CLS, a sound, make a random sound while it's thinking and while it's printing dots on the screen. And then it picks the random number here. So now B, which used to be a bullet, is now a random number between 1 and 10. And here's where we start the game. For T equals 1 to 3. These are our 3 tries. Print. This print here is to skip a line because I had semicolons after the bullet here, and it kind of it was like a run-on sentence. What I could actually do here is I could put that, instead of being at 165, I could do it 155 even. But
yeah, unless you want a double space to make it easy to read. It's up to you.
Okay. All right. So now it's going to say, all right. So now it's going to, here's for T equals 1 to 3. Here's our 3 tries. It's going to print, skip a line. It's going to say, this is try number 1. What number? It's going to input A for answer. If your answer is less than 1 or greater than 10, it's going to go back and ask you to try again. And then if your answer equals B, which was the random bullet, which is now our number, it's going to go to 350. 350 is the part where it says, your name string guessed my number. Yes. Okay, so if you get it right, go to 350, which is the happy ending. If you don't get it right, it's going to say, nope, that's not it. Name string, which is whatever your string is, and then it's going to make a sound, boop. And then we should probably make that a lower sound now too. Let's make this a sound 16, lower frequency sound. We'll make it a little bit longer, 16, 2, and we'll do that 3 times. At the end of that, it's going to go to 260. What is 250 here? 250 was the one. What the hell is 250?
I don't know.
250 is where we need to go if you get it right. So it's not 350. Wait a second. 250 is the death sound. So 240 instead of going to 260. Next T. This is kind of, because I've moved things around, this line here becomes pointless. Yeah. So we can actually get rid of 240. Okay. We're going to get rid of 240. All right. So then we're going to
optimize your code.
Yeah, just optimize
Garbage
my code.
collection.
Yes. So we're going to get rid of 240, and it's going to make a, in this case here, sorry, you blew it. You didn't guess B, which was the number. Guess my number again, play again. All right. I think that's going to do it. How does that all work now? Well, now I have to go back to the actual computer, and then we have to actually fix this in the program. So the first thing I'm going to do here, now let me get back to my actual VCC. So in my VCC here, I have to do a dir. This was saved on the floppy disk. And in my dir, I am going to load RR10. That was Russian Roulette 1.0. And then I'm going to save this right away. Save, and there's no save as, but I'm going to save this as, guess what I'm thinking, GWIT GWIT 10, GWIT 1.0. So I've now saved that as a new name. So I now have a new version of the software. Now I have to go back and figure out what lines I needed to change. The first one was line 20, right? So if I list 20, right now 20 says Russian Roulette. So 20 now needs to say print quote, guess what I'm thinking 1.0. Good enough. The next thing we're going to change is this. What is your name? Line 80. If I list 80, 80 is the one that says there's 1 bullet, there's 6 chambers. So now I'm going to say, okay, 80. Print. I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10. You have 3 tries to guess it. Okay, that one we need to change. Line 100 right now says spinning barrel. So line 100 now needs to say print quote thinking semicolon. Okay, the next thing we will change is this. Line 130, instead of saying sound 24, I'm going to say sound random 255, comma 1. We're going to print the dots. Okay, next C, B equals random 10. So line 150, where B equals, before we only had 6 bullets. Now we're going to say B equals RND 10. That's our guessing a number between 1 and 10. We have fixed that. Line 160 right now that says for T equals 1 to 5. 1 to 5. We used to have 5 tries. Now we'll have 3 tries. So 160 will say 4T equals 1, 2, 3. We've just fixed that. 170. Right now it says what chamber, so 170 now need to say print quote try number semicolon T colon what number colon semicolon. Okay, line 190 is the next one we need to change. So 190 will say if A is less than 1 or A is greater than 10. What's your problem? If A is less than 1, thank you, or A is greater than 10, then 170. Okay, we're going to go back. Okay, line 210 needs to be changed. Line 210, instead of saying click, you dodged a bullet, we're going to now say line 210, we're going to say in print quote, nope, that's not it. Semicolon end string, nope, that's not it. Curtis, all right, you didn't get it right. On line 220, I decided to make the sound a little bit lower for a wrong guess. So line 220 is now going to say sound 16, 2, lower frequency, slightly longer, next T. Line 240, we don't need anymore. So let's list that out. Let's list out 230 through 260. Let me see if I'm missing anything here in my code. So line 230 says next T. Line 240 says go to 330, which we don't need anymore. Line 250 says sound 10, 4, CLS 2. All right, so line 240 we can get rid of. So in order to get rid of it, we just type in 240. It's gone. Line 250, instead of saying sound 10, 4, that's fine. But line 260, instead of saying CLS 4, which was our blood red, now for 260, we're going to say CLS 2, which is our happy banana yellow. Okay, so now we've fixed that. The next thing I need to print is on line 280, the one that used to say bang. 280 is now going to say print at RND 508, but what am I printing? Sorry, SORRY. That's 5 minus 11 is 6. So we have to make that up to 506. Actually, let's make it 505 so we don't hit that last space and make the screen scroll. Print at random 505, comma, quote. And let's do this in lowercase too. What is it, shift 0?
Yep.
Which is not working for me right now.
Oh, in the emulator, yeah, you might have to just use caps lock or something.
Okay, sorry, lowercase. So caps lock. Okay, sorry, lowercase. Semicolon, right? That was line 280. Okay, so that'll print up dark. Okay, that was 280. Line 3, this is line 300. That should be okay. Line 300 says you blew it, and we can leave that. Line 310. Line 310 says somebody bit the dust. And this one is going to say 310 now. Print quote, print name string. And it's at print at 260. Okay, print at 260, comma name string, end string, comma quote, space, didn't guess, end quote, semicolon, B, which is our variable for the random bullet. So Curtis didn't guess 4, or whatever the number was, and I actually held up 5 fingers just in case you were paying attention. All right, so that was line 310. I've fixed that. Line 320 says go to 360. 360 is the would you like to play again. All right, so we have that. We have that. What else? Okay, line 350 we need to change it. Let's list 340. Sound 200, 4. List 350. So print name string survive. So 350, we're going to say now print end string, semicolon, guessed my number. La, 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 la. Okay, I think that's it. I think those are all the changes. I believe they're the changes, but we'll find out here soon enough. So now I'm going to do this again. If I do a dir, I want to save this one more time. So I'm going to save this as, guess what, I'm thinking 1.0. And let's take it for a test drive. Curtis, what do you think is going to happen here? Have I completely screwed the pooch, or what do you think?
I think you're pretty close. Some of the positioning you might have to change because some of the lines of text, ones with print ats in particular, you
Yeah.
change
Okay.
the length of the string, so they probably won't be centered properly or stuff. We'll see
Okay.
how.
We'll find out right now. So we're going to run this. Guess what I'm thinking 1.0. Copyright 2016 by Steve Strobridge. Licensed to Tandy Corp. What is your name? Well, we're going to do Curtis on this one. My
Sure,
name is
blame me.
Curtis. Okay. I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10. You have 3 tries to guess it. Thinking. Try number 1. What number, Curtis?
7.
7. Lucky number 7. That's not it, Curtis. Try number 2. What number?
3.
3. That's not it, Curtis. Try number 3. What number?
10.
10. That's not it, Curtis. Sorry, you blew it. Curtis didn't guess 4. Play again? Yes or no?
I think it's your turn. So put.
When
I can't remember when you hit yes. Does it go back and ask for your name again, or do you?
Yeah, it starts all the way over. It goes back to
Okay,
line 10.
and we'll let you have the second.
All
Game.
right, so let's try this one. What is your name? Ooh, I like that one. I'm thinking a number between 1 and 10. You have 3 tries to guess it. Thinking, what number? I'm going to do 2. Sorry. You blew it. Steve didn't guess 2. Oh, that's wrong.
Wait, yeah, that's wrong. You actually did get
Okay,
it.
play again. Sorry, you blew it. No. Okay. So I have to look at my code. Let me go back to looking at the code here. And where did I type this wrong? So if, hold on now, let's look at the code. I got to find this now. I'm thinking.
Where you actually matched
B,
the number, what happened?
Yeah, if A equals B, then go to 350. And maybe that's wrong. The 350 says print end string. Maybe I forgot to change that line in the code. I bet you I did. I have it changed in my spreadsheet. So
that's right in the spreadsheet.
Yeah, in the spreadsheet it's right. So what number was that? If A equals B, then go to 350. That's line 200. I got to go back and switch line 200. See, this is what debugging's all about, right?
Yeah. Fun, isn't it, kids?
Yes, it is. Fun with debugging. Okay, so if I list, what line was that? If A equals B, then go to whatever. That's line 200. List 200. Okay, so 200. If A equals B, then 200 now needs to go to 350. Not 250, but 350. Okay. Now, let's save this as, one thing I learned in the old days when working on computers is save and save often, because you never know when you're going to get a power failure or something else. So save GWT.
And we should also mention, you just change the syntax of the if then, where you have it just going to the line number without the word go to. Either is acceptable in BASIC.
Right. And another thing, too, is instead of writing out the word print, you could abbreviate that with a question mark.
I use that shortcut all the time.
Okay. Guess what I'm thinking? 1.0 copyright 2016 Steve Strobridge, licensed to Tandy Corp. What is your name? My name is Steve. I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10. You have 3 tries to guess it. What is the number? 2? That's not it, Steve. 4? That's not it, Steve. 6? That's not
good.
it, Steve.
I feel better now.
Sorry.
You lost this time.
You blew it. Steve didn't guess 8. Play again? Sure, why not? Okay, what is your name? Let's do Nick Marentes. Good day.
I'll take a 3, please.
I'll take a 3.
I have a horrible Australian accent.
All right, I'll take a bloody 3. All right, here we go. And while we're at it, I'll have a wallaby with that. Okay, that's not it, Nick.
Put a 5, mate.
All right, a 5. Well, I'm putting a shrimp on the barbie. That's not it either, Nick. Well, I'm going to go kick the crap out of a kangaroo, so let's try a 9. That's not it, Nick. Sorry, you blew it. Nick didn't guess 10.
No koala prize for you.
All right, so we just took my flawed Russian Roulette, which was really a Guess What I'm Thinking game, and we made it a Guess What I'm Thinking game. Now, if I wanted to be really nitpicky, you blew it. Should probably come over, what do you say, 4 or 5 more characters to be centered, and then play again. Should maybe go down 1 or 2 lines. So let's be real anal retentive and let's work on that. So why not? This is what coding's all about. It's about achieving perfection in any way, shape, or form possible, right? So if I go back to my Excel spreadsheet, one of the other tabs I made was this little thing here where I have my print at locations, right? So I need to go, well, before I even do that, let's go back to All Cocoa. All right, so no, I don't want to play again. Well, I have to click on the thing where it's actually going to read my keyboard input. Okay, let's click on this thing here. No, let's do a list and then play again. Print at 288. That needs to go down, and then right here, print so-and-so guessed my number, you blew it. Print at 229. Okay, so here, this needs to move over. So line 300 needs to move over about 4 or 5. Or print end string guessed my number, play again. So how about 360 at line 288? We move that down a couple.
Yeah.
So
the ones that you actually print the person's name with end string, those I don't know if you can really adjust too much, because depending on the size of the person's name, it's gonna.
I'm gonna move that down to line 384. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna move that down closer to the end. So so the one that says play again, I'm gonna say print at 384. So I'm gonna try the edit command. Edit 360.
Getting brave, are we?
Print at 384. Is it I for insert?
Do you want to insert or change?
Change.
How many characters do you want to change?
3.
You want to hit 3, then C.
3C. Change 3 characters, so it's 384. And then how do you get to the end, or you just hit enter?
Enter.
Okay. So what I just showed you is what we're actually going to cover in Chapter 9, which is how to use the edit command, which has got limited editing capabilities. But I just edited line 360 in BASIC. This was actually a feature of Extended Color Basic. My first Coco did not have this, so if I needed to change a line number, I had to retype the whole thing and hope I didn't screw anything up in how I typed it. So I just edited that and I changed it from 288 to 384. What does that mean? Let me go back here and show you. All right, so every location on the screen has a number. I said I was going to print right here on 288, which is 10 lines down. I've now moved it to 384, which is 13 lines down out of the 16 lines on the screen. So it's basically 4 from the bottom. I just moved that down for aesthetic reasons, you know, just a little bit of OCD, want my screen to look prettier. The next thing I want to do is the one that prints like you blew it. And where was that at? What line number was that? Oops, wrong thing here. The one that says you blew it or whatever it was, I printed something else and I just determined that that needs to go a little bit different. So that one here, 229. All right. And this one here is an approximation because we don't know how long somebody's name's going to be.
Yeah. So probably just print them at the beginning of a line. Just
yeah. So so the one that's at 229, that can probably go over a few, right? So we'll just add, let's just say 5 to that. So that's going to be what, 234. So line 300 is going to be switch to 234. So if I go back to my all Coco, and this is real nitpicky stuff here. This is super duper nitpicky. What line did I say that was? 300? Okay.
Yep.
Edit 300. And I'm going to hit change.
3C for 3 character change.
3C?
Yep.
And I'm going to do 234, enter. All right. Now, when I
Once you got used to it, the edit command actually is not too bad, but it's not as easy to grasp in your head as a full screen editor is.
What is your name? I'm going to make this one Curtis again. Curtis, I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10. You have 3 tries. Thinking.
4.
What number? 4. That's not it, Curtis.
8.
8. That's not it, Curtis.
7.
7. That's not it, Curtis. Sorry, you blew it. Yeah, the you blew it looks a little bit more centered.
Yep.
And Curtis didn't guess 2. I should put a semicolon after the number 2 here so it doesn't, destroy the rest of the screen, right? Play again is now lower. I like that. But let's fix that. So Curtis didn't guess 2. That needs to be edited. So that is line 310. How do I get to the end?
X.
X gets you to the end, and let's put a semicolon there.
X is short for extend, which basically means it goes right to the end and puts you right in insert mode. So you just start typing.
So I'm going to save this again, GWT 10. Let's try this one more time, and then we're done with this. Run. All right, Steve. I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10. I'm going to do 1. That's not it. I'll do 10. No, and I'll do right in the middle. 5. That's not it, Steve. Sorry, you blew it. Steve didn't guess 8. Okay, and so now what we see here is that it's not destroying the rest of the screen. Right? Not bad. Fun little exercise here. So it took my random madness, and when I say madness, it's nowhere Simon Jonasson level of madness, but this is my version of
your hair's much more.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is my version of madness in extended color basic, or actually mostly color basic at this point. So, okay, so that was fun. We just turned Russian Roulette into Guess What I'm Thinking. Now that we've done that, let's go back to the violent world of Russian Roulette and let's make it a proper Russian Roulette where you can still blow your brains out, but you have a fighting chance. So, now that I'm done with that, I'm going to load again Russian Roulette 10. So I'm going to load RR10. And I need to switch to my code and figure out how we're going to change my code. So where do I go to recent? RR10. Okay, so let's switch back to my old code. And here's the code for Russian Roulette 10. First thing we'll do here is this is going to become Russian Roulette 1.1 because we have we've modified the code. This is an update.
Ooh, update.
This is an update. Okay. There's one bullet, 6 changeovers, spinning barrel. So here's where we're going to make the change, though. Right now, the random number is picked before the 4 next loop that gives you these tries. I could actually just flip-flop these 2 line numbers, couldn't I?
Yep, pretty much.
So how about I do that right now?
Yeah, you want it in the loop so that you randomly spin your chamber again from scratch.
Okay, so right now I've flip-flopped them, but what I actually have to do now is also renumber them. Okay, so this is 150, this is 1, so that's basically the change there. Although the other change is that we also want, so I'm going to highlight these 2 lines that I've changed too, so when I go back and I look at things, it'll make it a little bit easier for me. So how the hell do I do that? Right there. So these are the 2 lines that I've changed. The other line that I wanted to change was down here. You blew it. This became like I added 5 to that, right? So that'll become like 234. Let me fix that. And this is a real small change here. So this becomes 234. You blew it. You bit the dust. And then the last one at 288, we changed that to 384, right? Where we just move this down a few more lines. So that got moved to print at location 384, which becomes 4 lines from the top. So with just a couple of tweaks now, we can take Russian Roulette 1.0 and make it more accurate, all right? So let me go ahead and save this as now. I'm going to save my spreadsheets to match my programming file names. I'm going to save this as Russian Roulette 1.1. What does all this mean? What is my mini madness doing here? Well, let's go back and let's make these changes. So if I right now list,
I have one question before you do your changes.
Yeah.
I can't remember if in the basic menu, have you covered the REM statement yet?
I have not, because I haven't found it yet in the book. So I have not gotten any commenting or remarking yet.
Okay, because usually when you're doing revisions and updates to programs, you sometimes want to put a remark saying what has changed.
Right.
That way, if another bug shows up, a new one, then you kind of know where to check.
Right. I haven't come across it in the book yet, so I suppose
we'll leave it for now. But
yeah,
I just wanted to mention that.
So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna flip these 2 line numbers, right? So I'm now gonna basically say 150 for T equals, and it's just such a short line, I'm just gonna retype them, and then 160 B for bullet equals RND 6. Okay. That's our major change. This puts the randomization inside the loop. So every time you take a turn, it's spinning the barrel again. All right.
Yeah.
So actually, if I wanted to be real nitpicky, the spinning the barrel part needs to be moved inside the loop too.
True. You are being nitpicky. I mean, yeah, true about the loop.
Oh, crap. Okay. Well,
you could use line numbers in between to do that too. Like you could put
okay.
Except you're reusing the same variable, though that would make it a bit more complicated. Because you're using 4T on both you're spinning the barrel and you're reusing 4T for the actual turn.
So there's okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to get rid of these line numbers here. I'm going to get rid of that. Don't need it. I'm going to get rid of this. Don't need it. I'm going to get rid of this. Don't need that. Get rid of that. Don't need that. Get rid of that. I mean, technically I need it all somewhere else. So here is where we would need it. So how about I'm going to do this? I'm going to be real lazy and cheap, not make any sounds. I'm going to put a colon to separate these things, which we haven't covered yet either. And I'm just going to say print quote spinning barrel. ...
And the colon allows you to separate multiple
Yeah.
commands or statements on the same line.
Yeah, I mean, technically this colon could be right next to it. I spaced it off for visual purposes. But what I'm doing right now is because I'm just being lazy, is that I'm going to get rid of, and this is what Lee Patterson referred to as optimizing code in our interview by shortening it. So I'm going to get rid of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines of code. I've flip-flopped 2 lines of code here, and I've actually put 2 statements on 1 line number. I have 2 different commands going on. The first command is going to say pick a random bullet between 1 and 6. Colon says end of this statement, get ready for our next statement. And now I'm going to say spinning barrel. Actually here, I don't have to do this print. So here I could do a random sound. I could go back and fix that random sound.
Yeah.
Right? Where the spinning sound. So here I could say on 165, I could say for SP for spin equals 1, 2, 6 sound SP comma 1. So it's going to be like a little.
You need a colon after the 6, not a comma though.
1 to 6 colon. Sorry.
No problem. I'm your friendly debugger.
Sound SP comma 1 next. SP, all in 1 line, real tight, compact code. So these are the things we are going to change. Okay, these are changes. These are deletions. So we'll make those red. You're going away. We're going to get rid of those lines of code there. We're going to change these lines of code here. I'm changing a few more lines of code. So this is what I'm changing here. Okay, so I am getting a little bit more compact here. But let's look through this again and let's explain the madness. I love saying madness now, even though I'm nowhere near as mad as Simon Jonason is. But we've now just said Russian Roulette 1.1. Actually, I now need to say, I need to put in a new line number here. I should put assisted by Curtis Boyle. I need to give you co-author credit here.
That's fine.
Licensed to Tandy Corporation. What is your name? Okay.
Keep my name out of it.
there's 1 bullet and 6 chambers. Here's our 5 tries. We're going to get rid of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines of code. We're going to get rid of 5 lines from the program. This is the main game loop right now for T equals 1 to 5. Those are our 5 tries. We're going to pick a random bullet. We're going to print the word spinning barrel. We're then going to make a sound. Right? We're going to make 6 sounds. Okay, then we're going to say this is try number 1. What chamber? We're going to input your answer. If your answer is less than 1 or greater than 6, meaning an invalid response, it's going to go back and ask you the same question again. If your answer equals the bullet, then we're going to go to line 250, which is the death sequence. It starts off by clearing the screen in blood red and then puts the word bang on the screen a few different times. If it does not equal B, then it's going to go to the next line. It's going to say click, you dodged a bullet. It's going to make a sound. It's going to say next T. And at this point, if you dodge the bullet 5 times, it's going to jump down to 330, which is the high frequency sound that says you have survived. Technically, it should be going to 320 that clears the screen. That should change to go to 320. So this should say
orphaned line there.
This should say go to 320. So 320 clears the screen. So I need to fix that line. So I will highlight that. This is the anal retentive nitpickiness that can happen when you start writing software. And if you have any
Nick
type
and you would get along great because he's pretty nitpicky with his stuff too.
So if you have any level of OCD and if you have any level of perfectionism, you can drive yourself insane. All right, so I'm going to save this again in Excel, and now I'm going to switch back to my Cocoa. We're going to make the changes. So these are subtle changes to Russian Roulette. First thing we're doing is we're getting rid of all this crap here. Second thing we're doing is we're putting the randomization of the barrel inside the loop. So each time you try it, you're spinning the barrel again, and you're still going to get 5 tries, but it's going to randomize that number each time. It's going to tell you what try you're on. Did you get it right? And it's going to give you a chance to get your answer. If you answered the number that is the bullet, it's going to go to line 1. It's going to go to line. Oh, that's if it's not valid. If you answered it correctly, it's going to go to line 250, which is the death sequence. 250 is death. If you didn't answer quickly, it's going to say, click, you dodged a bullet. It's going to make a sound. It's going to continue. At this point, it's going to jump down, because if you haven't died, this is the logic here. If you guess the number that's a bullet, jump to line 250, which is the death sequence. If that condition is not met and all 5 of your 4 next loops are done, the next choice here, the next line is going to say, well, skip the death and go to the happy ending. So we're jumping down to line 320, which is the one right here that clears the screen and says you have survived. And then this is the little death sequence here. So these are the changes to the program. I'm confused myself, and I kind of sort of know what I'm doing. So I'm not sure if anybody who's never programmed before knows what the heck I'm talking about here. But let's go back and let's just delete the old lines. So can I type in I don't know what.
There's 2 ways you can do it. You can type in each individual line number one at a time to delete it, which is the old color basic way. Or you can do del space
for delete.
First line number dash last line number.
Okay, so I'm going to delete lines 90 through 140. So del space 90 through 140. Gone. Okay. Line 150. Line 150 should still say that. Line 160. This one needs to be changed. So line 160 is going to say B equals random 6. Now I'm going to add a colon, new statement, print quote, spinning barrel, ... end quote. Okay. Line 165 now, which used to say print, which is just skipping a line. Now 165 is going to say for spin equals 1, 2, 6, colon, new statement, sound spin, comma 1, short sound, colon, next spin. Done. That line does not need to change. The next line that needs to change is line 230. If I list 230, 230 says next T. That's now 220. 220 says next T. What happened to my line numbers?
I don't know. Maybe the spreadsheet didn't quite match the original.
So I need to list that out now. List 200 through 240. Okay. The 230 says next T. 240 says go to 330. That should 240 says go to, that needs to change to 320. So 240 needs to say go to 320. That's the line that actually clears the screen. That's been fixed. At line 290, is that one still 290 or some of my numbering off? 290 through 320. Okay, you blew it. So line 300, yeah, some of these numbers are off from my spreadsheet. So line 300 says 290 is, okay. You blew it. All right, where did that go? That's at 234. That needs to change. So edit 300. We go over here. We hit C3.
3C.
3C. And that's going to change to 234. That just moves things over by 5 spaces.
There's a specific reason you do it in that order instead of the other order, is because
Okay.
if you have to do more than 10, you have to be able to tell how many characters you want to change, then hit C for change. If you did it the other way, you hit change, and then it has no idea how many characters you want to change and what's actual data you're trying to type. So there's a reason for that. The number is always first.
What did I screw up here? Okay. Okay, so the next thing we need to change is play again. That needs to change from 288 to 384. So let's edit line 360. And it's C3?
3C.
3C, and that's 384. I screwed something up. How do you stop?
Hit A for abort.
Okay. Edit 360. And so what is it? C3? 3C. 3C. And so this becomes, play again becomes 384. What did I screw up here? All right. I think we finished everything. I don't know what I'm confused at this point. I know what I meant to do, but I think I've confused myself in the process.
One quick side note on the edit command, as we mentioned, it's for color basic. It didn't have that. You had to retype the line. Extended basic did have it, and all Coco 3s have it built in.
Okay.
So if you're running in a Coco 3 emulator or you have a real Coco 3, you can always use the edit command.
Yeah, which we are. This is based off of VCC. So I think I fixed the program. Let's find out. I'll be the first volunteer to potentially blow his head off. Okay.
Okay.
What is your name? Steve. There's one bullet, 6 chambers, spinning barrel. What chamber? 1. Bang, you blew it. Steve bit the dust. Bang. Oh, that's the other thing I want to fix. I want to print bang in lowercase.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. What line number is that in where it prints the word bang? You blew it.
Some of the
probably gonna be
200s, I
around
think.
280. It's going to be around 280. Okay. Let's edit 280. X to go to the N. So we turn off caps lock and we type in bang with all lowercase. All right. Save. RR11. This is Russian Roulette 1.1. Boom. Brand new version of the software. Let's try it again. What is your name? Steve. Russian Roulette. Oh, I got to fix that. I didn't fix the first line. That changed the version number.
All right.
Okay. Edit 20. Go down to the N. 1.1. Save RR11. I'm going to save it again. All right, one more time. Let's try this again. Russian Roulette 1.1. Copyright 2016 Steve Strobridge. Not true. Licensed to Tandy Corporation. Less than true. What is your name, Steve? There's one bullet, 6 chambers, spinning barrel. What chamber?
Oh, it's my turn? No, it's your turn. You're Steve.
Oh, yeah. 1. Click. You dodged a bullet, Steve. Spinning barrel. What chamber? 2. Too much noise. Okay. Spinning barrel. Play again. You dodged a bullet. Click. You dodged a bullet. Play again. I screwed something up somewhere. Where have I screwed things up?
It's kind of worked, but it didn't do the survival.
Oh, crap. Okay. Number 1, there's too much noise. So the noise routine now, because I added that noise, there was a sound 200, 4. Hold on. Where is that at? You dodged a bullet. So that was line 210. So if I list 210. You click the bullet list 220. We can get rid of that. So I'm just going to get rid of 220 because I added sound in the middle.
Yeah.
This was that.
Too much sound.
Yeah, too much sound. Now.
At first, I thought you were referring to your cat in the background. But
Yeah,
I understand now.
That's bang. Okay. When you die. Okay. Where do we start the happy ending? You blew it, bit the dust. Crap. I don't know. Let's list the whole bloody thing. All right, you survived. So 330. 320 says go to 360. Okay, this is where that's the line I needed to get rid of. There was a line I needed to get rid of. Wasn't there? Or 230. Okay, I'm confused as hell. I don't know.
This is common encoding.
310. 310 says you bit the dust. I don't know. I got to list this whole thing out again. So list 100 through 140. Where the hell are we?
That's the ones we bulk deleted.
Okay. List 140 through 190. All right. 140 starts our lip. Spinning barrel. What chamber? Okay. List.
So that part was working.
191 through 250. All right. All right. So 200 says if you click it wrong, then go to 250. Next bullet, next T, go to 320. 240 says go to 320. Okay. What is 320?
So that's after your 5.
250 is if you get it wrong, right? So line 2 in order to go to 50. So 240 says go to 320. So let's list 350 through 250 through 320. Okay. 250. Okay. 300 says you bit the dust. 320 says go to 360. That's retarded.
Yeah, because you got 240 going to 320, and then 320 is going to 360.
320 through 360. So 320. Let's just get rid of 320. That was the superfluous.
Oh no, you still need 320 though, because that's where it's asking you to play again, which you do want to do after you die.
Okay, so then instead of going to 320, it needs to go to 330.
Yes.
Okay, what line number was that on then? I forgot.
2 something.
Okay, so 240 needs to go to 330. That's it. Hopefully somebody's following along at home because I'm losing myself right now. But I believe I've saved this. And I'll go back and I'll fix all of my code. So, what does all of this mean? And I'll wrap this up in the spreadsheet, which might be easier to run. But let's just run through the program and see. What is your name? This time it's you, Curtis. Curtis, spinning barrel. What chamber?
3.
3. You dodged a bullet, Curtis. Spinning barrel. What chamber?
2.
You dodged a bullet, Curtis. Spinning barrel. What chamber?
3 again.
You dodged a bullet, Curtis. What chamber?
4.
You dodged a bullet. What chamber? It's your last try.
Getting nervous. 1 left. 5.
5. Curtis survived. Yes, we have the game properly.
Good.
Now. Curtis
Help you with
survived.
the next chapter then.
Would you like to play again? Yes. All right. What is your name? Dork. 1. Dork survived. I wanna see it fail now. So play again. Yes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's just a 1 in 6 chance.
Bang. You blew it. Me bit the dust. Okay. Play again. All right. So there's the dark bang, right?
Yeah.
All right. So if you unfortunately get the bullet, you blew it, you bite the dust, and then ask if you want to play again. Okay. So that is the new and improved Russian Roulette. So
I'll put it top priority on the game site right away.
You son of a
You want to allow
biscuit.
it for download, or did you want to charge?
It's going to be on donationware. List 1 through 80. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to switch back over to the code, and I'm going to fix all the code and annotate what I did, and then make my spreadsheet match the software. And so because because literally I was losing my own mind along the way, and because this is meant to be something that will possibly benefit somebody, let's take a moment to bring closure to all of this, and let's make sure our program is proper now. So line 10.
I think the main issue was that somewhere in the 200s, the line numbering got changed.
Yeah. And my spreadsheet dynamically updates its line numbers, and so the minute I change something, my spreadsheet dynamically updated those because they weren't manually typed in. And so that formula auto-filled and my line numbers changed in the spreadsheet, if that makes any sense. So line 10 still says CLS random 8. Okay, line 20 says print Russian Roulette 1.1. Line 30, Steve Strobridge. Line 40, Tandy. Line 60, line 40, print Tandy. Line 50 says, what is your name? Line 60, input name. Line 70, clear the screen. Line 80, print, there's 1 bullet, 6 chambers. So far, so good. Now I'm going to list 90 through 150. And we actually don't go anywhere until line to 150 now. So we got rid of all these line numbers here. They're gone. So 150 is the main part of the code now. So now I'm going to list 150 through 200 and see how these line numbers. So 150 says for t equals 1 to 5. This is our main code. Line 160 says b equals random 6. That's going to pick a random bullet. And then it says spinning barrel. And then it makes a barrel spinning sound, which is just an extra. That's line 165 for SP for spin equals 126. Sound SP, comma 1, next SP. So that's your drrrr sound as it's spinning the barrel. Completely.
I see an issue here right now in your spreadsheet. You got 2 line 160s.
Okay.
So I think that maybe that's where the issue happened.
Okay. So then try number 2. That's actually 170. Okay. Yeah, and see how it automatically fixed the line numbers?
But I think that's where the confusion happened.
Okay, so that's where my confusion got. So 170 then says print try number T what chamber. Line 180 is input answer. 190 is answer is less than 1 or answer is greater than 6. Then go back to 170, which is asking you to try. And then line 200 says if answer equals B, then go to 250. So far, all of that matches my code. So now I'm going to list line 201 through 250. Let's see where I've missed here. Okay, line 210 says print quote click, you dodged a bullet, name strings. Line 230, okay, line 220 is now gone because we have already sound in here, so I'm going to get rid of that. Okay. Oh, you dirty rat. Okay, so let's take all this, copy all that down. This is going away. If I delete that, this sound goes away. Delete. Okay. This is now saying I don't know what you're talking to, but boom, I just fixed that. But now my line numbers are screwed up again. So line 210 said click, you dodged a bullet. line 220 is not here. This was actually line 230 that said next T. Line 240 says go to 330.
That was a bug fix.
That was a bug fix. Okay. Line 250 says sound 10, 4. So far, this is all correct. Now I need to list line 251 through line 300, and let's see where I screwed up here. Okay. So now line 260 clears the screen in blood red. Line 270 says for S equals 1 to 25. This is doing it 25 times. It's going to print the word bang on the screen. What I did here was put bang in reverse case just so it looks cooler, right?
Yep.
Next S, line 920, and then line 300 says print at 234, comma, you blew it, semicolon. Okay, this should also, line 310 should be a semicolon here too, so it doesn't destroy the screen. All right, so, but I haven't gotten that far in my code, so now I'm going to list line 301 through 350-ish. Okay, so line 300 says you blew it. I got that. Line 310 says print at 260, comma, end string bit the dust. That has a semicolon there. You blew it should also be semicolon. So let's edit that. On my code, it actually does. I didn't do it in the spreadsheet. Okay. And then you bit the dust. Line 320 says go to 360. Line 340. Okay. Line 320 says go to 360. Line 330 says CLS random 8. Line 340 says sound 200, 4. Line 350 says you have survived. So this is the happy ending part here. Line 330 is the happy ending, right? So at 240, if you go through all 5 tries, it's going to jump down to 330, which is the happy ending here. This as a high-pitched sound. We print your name, we say you've survived, and then we go down to would you like to play again, and that's kind of the end of the game. So sounds a little crazy. We've actually optimized our code now. We're down to 34 lines. We started off as 41 lines. We're actually down to 34 lines. So just to recap again, line 10 is going to clear the screen. Line 20, 30, 40, print the introduction. This is Russian Roulette. Then it asks you for your name, input your name, clears the screen, sets up the game. There's 1 bullet. There's 6 chambers. Gives you 5 tries. Picks a random bullet inside that loop now. So each time you take a try, you've got a completely fair chance at winning. And I put in a little routine here to make the sound of the barrel spinning, the drrrr sound. Then it says, here's your try. This is try 1. What chamber? Input your answer. Make sure your answer is valid. If your answer is the same number as the bullet, go to line 250, which is the you lose sequence. And then if not, we continue the cycle by saying you dodged a bullet, next try, all the way through 5. If you've gone through all 5 tries, we then jump down to 330, meaning you are the winner. That's the happy ending. If you don't, then at this point here, it says if your answer equals a bullet, then jump down to 250, which is right here, which makes a low frequency sound, clears the screen in red, puts the word bang on the screen 25 times, and then prints you blew it, your name bit the dust, and then it goes to line 360 that basically prints on the screen, would you like to play again, yes or no? If you say yes, go back to line 10. If you say no, end the game. And then line 400 will go right back to 350 that says you survived. Huh?
That should be 360 though.
360, that needs to be fixed now, right? Well, let me finish listing out my code here. Good point. Where's my mouse? List line 350 through 400. And then, yeah, line 400 actually should say go to line 360. You are correct, sir. Line 360, which is
that's
the
why
part
you paid me
here.
the big bucks.
That's right. Play again.
Zeros of dollars.
Yes, this loops that back to that. Okay. So those are the changes to Russian Roulette. That's the changes to the code. Here's what the game looks like one final time. We'll play it one more time for your entertainment, for your amusement value.
You know what, Steve? They're all hoping we're going to die.
So, Curtis.
Okay, they're all hoping I'm going to die.
What chamber, Curtis?
4.
You dodged a bullet, Curtis. What chamber?
I'm going to try cheat 10.
What chamber?
It's making me do it again. Okay, 6.
You dodged a bullet. What chamber?
3.
3. Bang!
Oh!
You blew it, Curtis.
Everybody got their
Bit
wish.
the
I died.
I have to try now, dude. What is your name? What chamber 1? What chamber 2? 3, 4, 5. Steve survived. I don't want to survive. Okay. What is your name? Steve. What chamber 2? Oh, first
Oh, there you
try. I did it on the first try. I'm awesome. So that's Russian Roulette 1.1. Having fun with making...
We should have called it Death Wish.
Death Wish. Having fun with silly games in BASIC. What better way to spend an evening?
And to be honest, in games, I think one of the crucial commands to use that you'll find in almost any game is the R&D command. Because if you don't have some randomness, there are certain games you can have that are completely strategy based or completely follow rules. But even in those cases, you usually need some sort of randomization to initialize, to start the game.
Yeah. I never got as fancy as learning artificial intelligence or writing algorithms or anything like that. So all my games were based on randomizations. You know, there's very little logic. Just move the bad guy some random direction.
The good ones are usually a combination because you need some random initial things to start with. Otherwise, it's like a game of the old escape game used to be in the late 70s. It used to be like, you do a move and then all these things follow you. They just figure out, are you to the left and down? Well, then move left and down 1 square. Yeah. That's not random. But where you put the initial monsters chasing you, that was random. So you still needed some randomness in there. A
little bit of randomness.
It's very rare you get a game that has no randomness at all.
Okay. But yeah, this was fun. This was a fun exercise into my own small scale version of insanity in coding. But it was fun. I just, I had the bug. And so I'm glad we did this. I'm glad that now I feel like I have gotten this off of my mental chest here where it was bothering me. There was a splinter in my mind this whole time, knowing that something needed to be changed. And I'm glad I got a chance to change it. So.
And you proved to everybody that you do have OCD. So congratulations.
We haven't even begun. We have not even begun. So, all right, Curtis, thank you for joining me. This was another little bonus episode of Programming in BASIC, and we actually created 2 games. We got Guess What I'm Thinking and Russian Roulette 1.1, where you now have a more fighting chance of not blowing your brains out, which is always good, Cool. Well, thank you for watching. Keep on coding. Long live the cocoa and all that other good stuff. Peace out, everybody.